Every trader feels it, the moment when strength starts to fade, and you wonder if it's time to take profits or raise cash. The truth is, the best traders don't predict. They prepare. Welcome to Market Edge, ahead of the trade. I'm Owen Larson, and each week we break down the ETFs, extract the key lessons, and study where leadership is showing up in the max list. Let's start with this week's ETF action.
Energy. This is the energy bull, okay? The energy ETF. This is a weekly chart on the left and a daily chart on the right. Another powerful educational point that we use, look at two different time frames. Look at weekly and daily and put them side by side. It will help you see themes much better. You look like here, you say, well, that's just a little base right there on the daily. But then you look at the weekly and it was a longer base. Do you see this? On good volume. The thing that's intriguing, though, it ran up. But note, pick up in volume on the weekly. Here's the daily. The daily volume on this bar was low. The daily volume on this bar was low. The daily volume on this bar picked up a little bit, but it wasn't even average daily volume. There wasn't much power there. Remember this, we teach this in Mission Winners. Volume equal power. Lack of volume equal lack of power. Not a lot of buying conviction here, and they gave it right back. Good things to know. Let's move on. Dow Jones Internet. Nice weekly trend. That's good to see. On the daily, there's just not a lot of good things happening. Okay, there's no simple entry here. There's no spot to get in it, but eventually there may be. Why do I say that? Well, it sure is a beautiful trend here on the weekly, and it sure is a good trend on the daily too. Also notice down here, I'll draw this to help you. Just a deep cup with a handle, and it lifted off with a pickup in volume right there. That could have been an entry. Right now, nothing to do with it, just pointing it out. What's it telling us? There's just not much happening with the internet stocks, but that's okay. The trend is still up. There's nothing wrong with it, but as far as getting an entry right here, well, there's a little bit of distribution right in here. There's a little bit of selling volume here on this bar and here. So we've got to watch it, but it still has support on the 50-day moving average. Continuing, IBD 50 still trending up nicely. Note the weekly. Note the daily. This is a great proxy for the leading growth stocks. It's the IBD 50. FFTY is the ticker symbol. And again, it's just trending nicely. Some selling volume here, rallies up on less volume. Selling just needs to push through some tops. It's just resting. It's not over, nothing like that. It's just basing up here, and that's constructive. Nothing wrong with it. Always remember this. Stock price movement's kind of like a horse race. Horse every once in a while has to catch its breath. There we go. We have to catch our breath. Gold miners, note the simple base breakout on the weekly, and note the trend. Note the trend on the daily. That is the most powerful tactic you can use. I refined this years ago, and it works. Riding trends makes us more money with less risk and less hassle. You don't have to overthink it. Just ride it. Note how this walked up the ADMA. If you look closely, this stock did not close below the ADMA for this entire move. They all don't do that, but it sure is nice when they do. Weekly base buys here and here, daily coinciding, and trends pay. It's owned, and we're letting it work. GLD, same situation. Simple base on the weekly. There was a simple base on the daily. I'll draw this to help you. And again, I love teaching this stuff. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is, used properly, money. Note the trend of the ADMA. It's owned, and we're just letting it work. We'll see where it goes. By the way, if you don't own it, don't buy it up here. It's too extended. It's too risky to chase price up here. Key lesson, key moral. Buy close to the pivot or don't buy it at all. Cybersecurity is trying to push through these tops. Every time it runs up there, though, they take it back down. Did it on Friday. Gaps up and reverses down. Weekly looks good. It just needs to get a price lift with volume. And until that happens, wait. Biotechnology, nice move here. Look at the weekly. You can see the daily's okay. And this is why, again, at Mission Winners, we combine different moving averages right through there and lift it through these tops. Look at the weekly volume. Look at the daily volume coming into it. That's our edge. We know what people look for in the charts, and we capitalize on it. Entries right here. There you go. Now, it's extended in price. Nothing to do with it at this time. But it provided entries on the weekly. Had an entry down here on the daily and another one up here. And note when it lifted off. Look at the volume pickup on that bar. That's power. Stuff to look for. We do these to help you make money. Help show you what to look for. That's what we do at Mission Winners, is teaching. This is what I taught at the IBD meetups for 12 years. Online retail trending up nicely. That's good to see. What's a big stock in here? Well, Amazon's one of them, but there's others. And it's just working. A little loose bar right here, okay? Kind of a wick bar, but the trend is still up. Basing here. You may look at IBUY and see if there's any stocks. That's the other key point. You're like, well, what do I do with the ETF? Okay, you can get involved with an ETF. You could also dig deeper, do a search on IBUY, top 10 holdings. You may find opportunity there. There we go. IGV, software technology, trending nicely on both the weekly and the daily. It's pausing up here just a little bit. We'll watch and see what happens until it starts to lift again or strengthen. Don't buy any more. Just to tighten weight. You could sell some into strength. That's always a good tactic. You don't have to sell all of it. Portional, small sells into strength. Guarantee profits and also lessens risk and also lessens stress. Those are very important variables that helps us. Continue onwards. IHI, medicine's picking up a little bit. A lot of overhead supply here on the weekly. Resistance to the 50-day needs to push through there with medicine. IJH, mid-caps basing nicely. You can say, well, that looks okay. Then you look at the weekly and go, boy, that's a big cup with a handle forming right there. That's correct. Takes out this line with volume. That could be a buy. But you could take it a step further. You don't just have to buy the ETF. You could look into some mid-cap stocks. Aerospace and Defense trending nicely. Look at the trend of the ADMA. That's how money is made, folks, with much less hassle. Okay? Now, it's extended in price here. Don't chase extended prices. It's too risky. You could buy up here and top ticket. And then it drops and you go, God, what did I do that for? No. Buy close to the pivots or don't buy at all. There we go. ITB, U.S. home construction, is kind of sloppy here. It has support on the 50-day. Needs to start pushing off the 50-day with volume. Until that happens, be a little cautious with home builders. IBW, S&P 500 growth. You can see the title right up here. Note the trend on the weekly. And yes, do we have good exposure in growth stocks? Yeah, we've got an entire front page loaded with stocks that are owned. And we're riding them. Just let them work. Sold some into strength, we'll let it work. Who's telling us to buy? Small caps. Look at our mid Russell 2000. Trending nicely. Good to see. Could you be involved with some small cap stocks? Yes. It's a little bit extended. Remember this. This is very important. I'll say it again. Buy close to the pivot price or don't buy it at all. There's no edge in chasing price. It can lead to larger losses that we're going to lead to, and we don't want that. IYR, real estate, U.S. real estate, basing nicely right here. But you can see it's kind of choppy on this daily chart. Whipping around, look at that. Goes up, runs up, drops like a rock. Runs up, drops down. Runs up, drops down. Runs up, drops down. Sellers there. Needs to push through these tops on the daily and the weekly with volume. I do like that the volume's starting to pick up here a little bit, but notice there was heavy selling volume on the weekly. The moral of the story is, needs to take out these tops with volume. There we go. Let's continue onward. Transportation doesn't look bad. Look at it. You go on the daily, you go, oh, it looks all right. Then you look at the weekly and go, oh boy, that's a nice long weekly cup and a handle. What does it need to do? Take out this line with volume. Nice to look at. Transportation, you look at IYT or maybe some transportation stocks. Airlines, they're grounded. There's nothing to do with it. Leave it alone. Banking, just kind of chopping around here. It's not showing a lot of power right now. You can see it was falling on increasing volume. Until this really starts to power off the 50-day, which it could do, just be a little cautious. Also note on the weekly, it fell on a pickup in volume. So needs to push through these tops here, forming a cup and a handle. That could be a potential buy, but nothing right now. Insurance picking up a little bit. Look at this. You can, if you looked at just the daily chart, you can say, oh, that's picking up. But then you look at the weekly and go, why, Jove, that's a cup and a handle formation right there, or a flat base, whatever you like to call it. And it's working. It's picking up. Lifted off on Friday on a slight pickup in volume. You'd like to see more volume coming into it. Again, volume tells us other people see what we see and they're buying. That's good to know. That's power for us. Regional banking really not doing too much of anything. Leave it alone. Mid caps picking up. You can see it on the daily, and you look at the weekly and go, well, there's a big cup and a handle. Yeah, takes out this time. That could be a buy. What does it need? Good price action and good volume action. Oil services steadily trending up, kind of sloppy. But what's the trend? The trend is up on the daily, and the trend is up in the weekly. You could look into some energy services. It is a little loose here, though, so be careful with that. Indicates some higher investor emotions. Pharmaceuticals, nice daily base. Look at the weekly. Isn't that beautiful? Look at the weekly volume. Yes, did we pick up some pharmaceuticals this week? The stocks? Got to be careful. Don't just say no to drugs. No, but pharmaceutical stocks. Pfizer's one of them. There we go. Continue on. QLD's just trending nicely on the weekly and the daily. And what has it been telling us for a while? Oh, be involved in big NASDAQ stocks. It's been telling us. So we have that. And again, the reason we do these videos is to show you what to look for to help you. QQQ, same thing as QLD. I like QLD, and QQ. I like them both. They're acting fine. Retail's kind of sloppy right here, okay? Might, starting to fall. Some selling volume here. Be a little cautious with retail. Cloud computing's acting fine. Basing right here on the weekly and on the daily. No real clean entry on it at this time, but it has shown that there's strength in it. Back in here could have been a buy, okay? It is showing strength. Now, if you can't find anything at this time in this sector, that's okay. There'll be opportunities eventually. And there's a key moral here. Don't chase price. Please don't chase price. Buy close to the pivot or don't buy at all. I told you the 2 gold ETFs are going, and then look at silver. Look at that move. Trending up the ADMA. Look at the weekly move. That's how power is made. This is what we teach. This is what I do at Mission Winners. Look for things like this. Steel picking up a little bit. Going across here. It's kind of choppy, though. Look at that tail bar. Runs up and fades, runs up and fades, runs up and fades. Kind of whipping around. There's a bigger weekly, though. You see this, and you can say, oh, but look at the weekly. Oh, look at that long base. There we go. Maybe looking at some steel stocks for the ETF. Continuing onwards, SMH, semiconductors, nice trend. Nice trend on the weekly, nice trend on the daily. It could have been seen a while ago, back here. Hey, looking at some semiconductor stocks. How about that? This base right here corresponds with it right here, by the way. You see this is around $300 right there. That's here. This is a lower level base. But note the base and note the trend. On a weekly chart, you don't have to overthink it. Just let it work. Buy it here. We'll call it buy at 255. 255 to 330. That's good money. Riding trends pays. Let's move on here. I don't want to take too much of your time. Semiconductor SOXL, same situation. That's good. Spiders trending nicely. Look at the weekly. Look at the weekly trend. Note the daily. It's been telling us, hey, you might want to get invested. You might want to get involved with the market. You're not forecasting. You're just getting in line with the price and volume action that the chart's telling you. SSO, same situation. That's working. We own this from down lower. Just, it's a sister to spiders. It's a leveraged one. Solar started to pick up here a little bit. You look at this chart and you go, gosh, you kind of picked up. But then you look at the weekly and go, that's a huge weekly cup and a handle. Folks, this is a powerful template I share with you. Again, weekly charts on the left and daily on the right. Use this to your benefit. Use this to your financial benefit. It's a powerful template. And by the way, don't force buys. Look for price action backed by volume. And if it's not there, leave it alone. Small caps picking up a little bit. Nice to see that in the market. Uranium's been steadily trending. Good to see. Now look at this one. You go back here. Oh, that's trending up. That's nice. Oh, wow, that's dropping. Yeah, and it has been dropping. Look at this. It runs up and drops. It runs up and drops hard. Big reversal bar here. runs up and gaps down on the weekly. It's been telling you, hey, stay away from oil stocks. That's why we do this in Mission Winners. It helps us say areas to look into and areas to avoid. Any of the folks that pick this, chase this up here and go, gosh, why did I do that? Yeah, we did it. You did it. Good work. Aerospace and Defense trending nicely. Nice to see. By the way, you can look into the ETF, or you can find some top 5 or 10 holdings in there. Boeing's probably one of them. And look at the trend. There we go. Combine it all together. Let's move on. Biotechnology grinding up nicely. Nice to see. Involved with some biotech stocks. Home builders still kind of languishing. Still not showing a lot of power. Watch out. Materials still not showing a lot of power. Communications had a nice lift right through here on a pickup in volume. Chopping around. No real clean entry now. But the trend is up. Don't lose sight of that. Don't lose sight of the group. There we go. XLE, look what this did. It runs up, and then they take it right back down. That tells you something. Be careful with energy stocks. No conviction there. They gave up on it quickly. Financials is just basing, needs to lift off for some power. Not there. Industrial's trending, but there's no real clean entry for it. But it does say the industrial's not a bad place to be. XLK, technology. Yeah, are we involved with technology stocks? Yeah. Look, it's been telling us. It's been telling us on the weekly and the daily. Hey, you might look at some tech stocks. Move on. Consumer staples, nothing going on there. Leave that alone. Now, I'm going to flip the coin and share this with you. Consumer staples, consumer stocks, things people have to have. You got to have toilet paper, right? Let's lay it out there, folks. Let me think here. Well, they're not really going there. They're going more into the growth areas. Money is going into areas that is more aggressively growth oriented. This is a safe haven. Toilet paper is a safe haven. I'm not trying to be weird or corny. It's a fact. Money's not going here. Money's going in more aggressive areas. Growth, technology, and we are too, and have. Utilities, look at that moving up. What are utilities? Interest rate sensitive. Lifting up, what does that tell us? Interest rates are falling. That's conducive to a good market too. Connecting the dots. We're about done here. Healthcare is grinding on up nicely too. Good to see. You could say, what could you do with this? Punch in XLV, top 10 holdings XLV, do a Google search on it, and you'll say, gosh, there was some opportunity there. That's why we do this. We show people what to look for. Teach people, don't just give people fish, teach people how to fish. You ever heard the quote? Give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime. I think that's kind of good. Say the same thing for women, right? It's for people. Continue onward. Metals and mining trending nicely. Nice to see. Get involved with that, or have been. Oil and gas started to lift up, and they gave it right back. Be careful with that. When you see stuff go this way, and then they take it right back into the base, always watch out for their lack of conviction. Retailing's trending nicely. Good to see. Software's trending okay. It's just basing right now, and that's fine. And we go back to the top.
The goal isn't to predict the top. It's to protect profits when the evidence changes. When markets trend higher, it's easy to relax, but staying alert for early warning signs keeps you ready to act without emotion and without panic. Here's what to watch for. First, a confirmed close below the 8 exponential moving average. An intraday dip is noise. A decisive close below it signals momentum could be shifting. Second, a break of the clear uptrend line or rising channel. When that aligns with a close under the 8 EMA, disciplined traders start trimming exposure and raising cash. Third, broad weakness across heavy sectors. True pressure shows up when technology, financials, communications, and consumer discretionary all lose their 8 and 21 EMAs together. If defensive areas like healthcare or utilities are firm while growth just cools off, that's rotation, not a top. Fourth, watch the volume. Rising selling volume on down days tells you institutions are taking profits. Falling volume on rallies means demand is thinning out. Fifth, manage the process, not the prediction. It's easier to follow what's happening than to guess what might happen next. Stay with trends while they're intact, and when the data shifts, Scale out systematically and let cash become a position. For traders who do short, the same principles apply. Wait for confirmation, not emotion. Price will tell you when momentum has truly reversed. Until then, patience and position management are your best defense. When the market closes below key moving averages and breaks its rising trend line, raise cash, protect profits, and stay mentally centered. Discipline keeps you in control, not the headlines. Now let's bring it back to leadership. The clearest signals always show up in the MAXLIST names first. We'll look at which leaders are holding the 8 and 21 EMAs, which are tightening near new pivots, and where money flow is still supporting the trend. Now we go back to Pat Walker for this week's MAXLIST overview.
Apple, weekly base here on the weekly chart. There's one down lower. There was another little shelf right here. And it's working, and we're just letting it work. There's a little shelf that's formed across here. If we could take this out, I've already got price alerts set. This could be a new buy or an add-on on Apple. Continue onwards. Amazon's languishing. There's really nothing to do with it. I mean, do a compare and contrast. Well, this is kind of trending up here, new highs, Pat. This ain't doing nothing. Stay away from it for right now. Maybe this week it'll change, but at this point in time, there's nothing happening. Look what it did on Friday, by the way. Gaps up, runs up to the falling 21 EMA. It's a powerful moving average right there, folks. The 21 EMA and drops. For everybody's edification, that's the 50-day simple, the 21-day exponential, and the 8-period exponential. There you go. Continue onwards. There's Amazon derivative, same thing as Amazon. Alibaba, note the simple weekly base breakout. Note the volume surge on the daily breakout right there, the same spot. Pushing right here through 125 and off through the races. And this is still owned. Note the trend of the 8 EMA. Folks, I'm not saying that bragging, please. I'm doing it to help you. Hey, master these setups. Master these trends following techniques. You make more money with less hassle. This is a 60-point gain for doing nothing. Let it work. Where's it going to go? I don't know. Maybe this is the top. Maybe it'll go up another 60 points, but we'll ride it until it stops. And if it starts to falter, we'll sell some into strength. There you go. That's a great lesson. Baidu, same situation. Check this out. Look at the weekly base breakout on Baba. Look at the weekly base breakout on Baidu. Sister stock. And trending nicely. Trending nicely on the daily. Walking up the 8 EMA. No, this is education. This isn't bragging. It's, hey, look for this stuff. Master this and forget all the other noise that's out there. This works. There we go. By the way, when I say noise, I'm not criticizing other techniques. No, that's not my point. Simplify. Just simplify. It will help you a lot. Google, simple base on the weekly, trending. We're in it. We're letting it work. Goldman Sachs, simple base on the weekly, simple base on the daily, up higher. Trending. We've sold some into strength. When you get a bar like this, here's a powerful lesson for everybody. Oh, it's extended. It gaps up, it runs up, and closes below where it opens. There's a sell signal right there, folks, that you can use. Take some off. Yes, we did. There we go. Let's continue onwards. MasterCard. There's really nothing to do there, is there? Leave it alone. Meta. There's nothing to do there. Leave it alone. We haven't been involved with Meta. By the way, we bought this here, started to lift up, starts to fade. We sold it. No day trading. We're basing our decisions off weekly and daily charts. Nothing to do with it. Leave it alone. And now it's below the 50-day. I said this in meetups for years, the IBD meetups. The air is better above a rising 50-day moving average line. It's not there right now. So there's better fish to fry. FBL, the derivative of it, same situation. Microsoft. Now, Microsoft has a nice downward sloping trend line here. I'm going to take this off, though, and show you this one. Right across there. Corresponds closely with this one right here, too, as you can see. Now, what did it do? It's still basing. It hasn't broken out yet. But note this. Look what it did on the weekly. Starting to pick up on a pickup in volume. Do you see this? Can you see these clean tops here I just drew? If it takes this, I already have a price alert set. Look, I already had it set. takes out that top with volume, that could be a buy. There you go, right there, real time. By the way, am I saying, oh, it's going to run? No. Nobody knows the future. We let price guide us. It makes it easier. We don't have to forecast. Forecasting is a stressful situation. It's an ego situation. We don't impose our will on the stocks. There's a tremendous amount of money and power in knowing what to look for in the charts and then what to do. And that's why we teach in Mission Winners. And we don't argue with price. Simple. Netflix is sloppy, nothing to do with it. Look at that. I'm going to mess with that for right now. By the way, you see back here? This was owned back here on the weekly. Look at that. That was a monster move. All right? Starts to get sloppy up there. We took it off, and it's gone. Nothing to go with it. Nvidia, I like the space breakout here, owned. I like the base breakout here. Got a little sloppy here, and what did we do? Sell a little bit off. Don't have to sell all of it. Sell a small portion. Profits and protection. Two very important assets in the markets. Financial assets and mental assets. What's going on between your ears? Protect both of them. I'm not being corny. I'm speaking the truth. There we go. Now, what do I like to see? Well, if we get space here and then take out these tops, guess what? We could buy more. It'll tell us what to do. And I like that. NVDL, same situation. Tesla, nice long base breakout right here. Look at that. We caught that. I'm not bragging. Just look. You can see it. You can see it on the daily. Rallied up, sold a bunch into strength, and I'm glad we did. Here's a great lesson for everybody. After a stock has made a big move, if you get a big gap up, you see where this opened? Opened right at the highs of the day and then starts to drop. That's a trigger to sell some, folks. That is a very reliable trigger. You don't have to sell all of it, but sell something. It's good for the head. It's good for the pocketbook. It does something. It makes us money, but it also lessens stress. And we're just facing decisions on daily charts. There we go. Let's move on. PSLL, the derivative of that same situation. These are starting to pick up. So we had a downward line here, but now check this out. We can change this. Why? Well, I'm doing this real time, folks. Check this out right here. There you go. You got some tops right there. Highs here. The high on this bar. I have not done this. I'm doing it real time. 353.40. What's the high right here? 353.16. That's pretty dang close on a $350 stock, folks. All right? Take this top out. Needs to take it out with volume. What's the best thing this could do? Form a little handle here and then take off. There's Visa. Everywhere you want to be and back to the top.
That wraps up today's episode of Market Edge, Ahead of the Trade. And as always, master your strategy, trust the process, and maintain your edge.
I am here in the middle of nowhere. There is no there, it is cold there, but I am safe and I am warm. Although it's hard.